Nothing more exciting than championship lacrosse as Charlotte and Appalachian State are about to get underway in the second of our Division II semifinals. Reagan, we talked about it just before we went off the air there for the national anthem. You know, Coach Nick Nedvetsky has had a great team, but they've been riddled by injuries. We saw, especially in that Appalachian State game, Declan McHugh went down with an injury. Blake Moxham tore his ACL. He's done for the year. Cody Seaman tore his meniscus. We weren't sure if he was going to play today. He will be in net today. He's a veteran goaltender for Charlotte. And he kind of talked about the message of Kobe Bryant, the late, great Kobe Bryant. What if your season's not over? What if you could get through it? That's what they've had to do this season. And most people say champions don't have adversity, but they've definitely had to overcome some stuff, and they've made it all the way back here as a 1 seed.
Absolutely. I think one of the key points to stress about this team is it's a very good team lacrosse. They are able to have a next man up mentality. You look at their goals and assists, 222 goals this season, 175 assists. That goals assist ratio is unheard of. I can't remember the last time I've heard of a team that has that many assists, and you can tell that it's not just the individual players. Yes, they're great, but it's the systems that work, it's the coaching, and they're able to have those next guys step up and also produce just as well because they focus on the team more so.
Absolutely, and coming into the game, we'll find out who Appalachian State is going to start at the dot. It looks like it's going to be number 18, Max Murphy, who had a really good game against Charlotte in their overtime loss. He's going up against a very, very difficult matchup at faceoff. Ryan Parody going to get the start today for Charlotte. It's Charlotte. It's Appalachian State. Who wants to go to Championship Sunday? We are underway here in Lynchburg as Charlotte wins the face. '49ers coming in with a record of 12-3. They're currently number 11 in the MCLA poll under Coach Nick Nedvetsky. They had won the previous 2 years this ALC tournament, beat Coastal Carolina in both championship games in 22 and 23, with a plethora of high-level players coming to them. Lots of transfers, different guys. Coach Nick Nedvetsky has talked about building the culture of this Charlotte team. And they get it. The culture started off well. Maybe yes. It looked like the officials weren't exactly sure, and they still may not be, but let's take a look. They're going to say this is a goal. That is Henry Hull, the captain from Mebane, North Carolina, getting the festivities started.
Just like we talked about, fantastic team offense. Drew the slide, moved the ball again, got 2 passes in, and then someone right on the doorstep made a quick little move, got the angle, and was able to finish inside.
Charlotte playing that 2-3-1 offense today and starting 3 lefties at attack. Interesting strategy from Coach Nedvetsky. Get some of their better players onto the field, or at least their offensive first liners onto the field. It's actually on the second line now with lots of players to choose from. Big roster here for this team. Bradley Bass on the field right now. Holding it now is Tyler Nichols, the leading points getter for the 49ers. Here is Bass. Slowly working around to the Conference Player of the Year. Declan McHugh battled through injuries all season long. We could see a quick whipping shot with the left hand from McHugh. That's something that he can do. Coach Nedvetsky thinks he's the best shooter in the MCLA. Chance inside, and a good save to start the day. Coming from Jacob DeVita, the sophomore from Charlotte, getting it going.
That first stop is always critical to a goalkeeper for confidence.
The thing Charlotte does really well is clears. They have a numbers advantage here, but a pass that just goes wide. Colson Huff, who was saved earlier, and then throws that one away. Appalachian State under Coach Justin Phillips comes in at 8-3. Reagan, they're going to have to win this whole tournament probably to make the MCLA national tournament. They're the only team just outside the top 25, the last team outside the poll.
Yeah, absolutely. The national tournament's really tough. If you don't get that AQ, automatic qualifier, and you want an at-large bid, you need to have a lot of regular season ranked matchups, and you need to win those games too. Even if you play a lot of ranked teams, if you're not able to win, there's not a good chance you're going to get that at-large bid.
Like we talked about, just an excellent game last time out between these two, as Charlotte, riddled with injuries, found a way to get it done. 15-14 the final that game was. So Appalachian State looking to avenge not just that 26-1 loss a few years ago, but they are a completely different team, as McHugh with a cute little underhand shot that gets deflected. Looks like DeVita got a piece of that. They're looking to avenge a loss from this season as well. Inside, backhand, shot goes. Tanner Ackerman, the sophomore from Syracuse.
There's a lot of movement inside for Charlotte. You can tell that App State hasn't been able to track those guys inside. And the moment they draw a slide, and you see cutters all over the field. There's multiple cutters that were open that play, and he found his guy inside for the backhand finish.
Appalachian State having a hard time with all those cutters. Such a different class of speed you could see on the field here from Charlotte. That's been their calling card, is Nick Nedvetsky holding them to a really high standard as Parity wins the face. Quickly to McHugh, shot. That one looked like it got the stick of DeVita, his third save of the day. And App State still without a possession in their own end, trying to possess, and they finally do. So we finally get a chance to see the Appalachian State offense, who's led by really two players. That would be Michael Quick, along with Charlie Cox, number 8.
Michael Quick's a very well-balanced player. He's second on the team in assists, just one assist behind Charlie, and he's leading the team in goals. He's averaging almost 3 for both. So key contributor, and he can do it all. He can shoot, score, dodge, then he can also feed too.
There's a shot that goes wide, taken there by Davis Fenema. Cox and Quick have combined for 118 points this season. There's another backhand opportunity, this time smothered there by Cody Seaman, who gets his first of the day. 118 points between Cox and Quick. The rest of the team has 130. So pretty lopsided there, but still a lot of contributors. That was a good pass across, but not able to be handled right down at the crease as the smothering Charlotte defense gets on top of it quickly. Sean McCarty was able to handle it. And now Charlotte trying to just settle on their own end. Looks like App State's trying to get used to the speed here of the Charlotte team.
I think so, yes. And one thing that Coach Nick talked to us for Charlotte earlier this week is before all the injuries, their identity was a very fast-paced team. They wanted to push in transition, and they just don't have the style that can, or the players that can keep up with that style. So they've wanted to settle it down more. You can tell they've been playing a lot of 6-on-6 offense. If they have the opportunity for a fast break, they'll take it, but I think they've been doing a good job of being able to slow the ball down and move it.
Turnover there forced by the Mountaineers. Number 13, Robbie Crocker, able to open that can. And now Appalachian State will settle down. How Justin Phillips handles this semifinal game at such a young age, his first season. Felt like he was really prepared last season, taking over. Inside opportunity, and it is taken advantage of. Mason Wentz at the doorstep gets the goal started for Appalachian State.
I think Charlotte may have over-pursued there, an unsettled situation. Seems like he tried to go for the turnover too much and was able to avoid his man and draw the slide and move it for the one-on-one with goalie.
Cole Cummings there on the defense, getting beat by Mikey Giroux, who finds his teammate Mason Wentz, and 2-1 in favor of the 49ers, but a good face-off win there for Appalachian State, who like to mix it up. They've got 3 face-off guys. They rotate, just try to find the right formula for that spot, especially against such a decorated player like Ryan Parody. They'll settle it down here. Justin Phillips preaching a message of belief in each other this week. They feel like they've earned their right to be here. The attention to details, he said, will be very important to a win today. No question about it against such a good team. Seaman is able to defend that shot.
Big hit.
But a good hit on the forecheck for App State.
Got man open on the crease.
Trying to get his head up, takes a shot anyway, and that one goes wide. Looked like that was Charlie Cox out there getting his first shot today. Lots of possession time here as App State's still working to figure it out. Getting around defenders. See Justin Phillips trying to reset the offense here. 3 guys behind the cage here. Cox trying to take it. Can't get a grip on the ball. And coming on here for App State on the sub, as that's a pass that goes wide. Chase Barney out there with the long hair. Cutter inside, missed its target. Seaman handles it. App State a little stiff on that possession as Cummings has it. Cummings at the doorstep, shot, good, fake and score. Colson Huff, the midfielder and junior from Holly Springs, North Carolina, makes it a 3-1 ball game.
Fantastic play here by Cummings. He's able to beat his man, and you see both poles in that situation. They're not used to playing offense. They might take the shot there, but he was able to keep calm, draw the slide, and move it to attack. And the guy who's familiar with the ball, and also get him an opportunity right in front of the goalie.
Cummings plays a lot of closed defense, but can kind of go in between with LSM on top of it. As we've got a yard sale, our first one of the day there. Cole Donner was making his way, but was found out by the App State defender. And a good job there on the clear for App State. Going deep into the roster for some of these players at the D-mid position. Zach Herman doing a nice job of tickling the sideline. Tried that backside pass to no avail there. And a push will keep it with the Mountaineers. Early on here, 5.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter between Charlotte and Appalachian State. That pass inside does not meet its connection, and Charlotte will be out in front with a 3-1 lead. So they get the clear going down the field quickly with Luke Rothrock. And out of bounds.
We talked about in the first game how the lines on this field are a little uneven compared to the football lines. It looks like it caught Charlotte there.
But the creases had to be moved yesterday. The paint They painted that sideline right along the football sidelines. When you're out there in the center of the field, you're not seeing exactly straight on from between those hash marks. Sometimes can get confusing. But I will say the logo in the middle of the field is outstanding. Of course, the tournament operatives, President Panchito Ojeda, Treasurer Mike Zampano, Lauren McQuillan doing a great job with this tournament setup. It's been a really fun day as that pass. It looked like somebody was in the crease there for App State, so Charlotte will get it back again.
App State has definitely had some opportunities inside. There's a few times where the man's open, they just haven't been able to connect that pass.
Well, they do get the turnover. Dylan Reed will handle it. It's kind of a calm day today. Temperature is supposed to get into the very low 70s. It was pretty chilly this morning coming out here.
Chilly and cloudy.
Yeah.
The sun's out. It's definitely a lot more enjoyable atmosphere to play lacrosse.
It's warmed up. A little bit of cloud coverage, no question. But no rain. There's some thought about it. And there was some last year in this tournament, but not this year's. The last few minutes of this game has been a turnover factory for both teams here, Reagan.
I don't think either offense has had a chance to really get settled, move the ball around, and get some momentum or rhythm. Charlotte's got numbers here.
Out to McHugh. They'll settle it. Here's Huff. It's been the main contributor so far for the 49ers. Back up top to the Conference Player of the Year, Declan McHugh. Deep shot goes wide right. That looked like App State got there. That looked like the official changed his mind,
yeah.
I think, to the what would have been correct call. DeVita trying to find somebody in the clear. And this is where Charlotte can be extra dangerous, forcing turnovers and getting quick opportunities like that. Ackerman picks it up. McHugh, let's see if he goes. He's not gonna.
I think there's only a few seconds left for him to get over. Deepole might have panicked a little bit, throwing an off pass there.
Well, this game has flown by, no penalties. 3-1 in favor of Charlotte. It's already 2 minutes in. 2 minutes down to in this first quarter. Another call made, another shot, and another Appalachian State possession getting to the end line.
Yeah, that's not what you want if you're Charlotte's offense. It was a very low angle shot, not super high percentage early into the shot clock, and didn't have a backup.
And again, just when they thought they had it back, Huff steps on that sideline again. Some sloppy play here after from both squads. Or we could say the rides have been outstanding. That looked like an on-target pass, just not being able to be handled. DeVita, a wrestling match going on for that GB. Finally popped back to Seaman. And he'll handle it. Big Cody Seaman. That pass a little high. Trying to desperately get possession here is Nathan Buck. And finally, a timeout from Nick Nedvesky's crew, who desperately needed it. I mean, at some point, somebody's got to settle the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just all over the field, lots of running. Makes it tough for both offenses to get in the rhythm.
All right, we'll take a short break. 1:08 to go in the first quarter. The score, Charlotte 3, Appalachian State 1. Come on back to the ALC tournament here in Lynchburg. Back here in Lynchburg, as we have about a minute and change left here in the first quarter. Charlotte's got a 3-1 lead, but Reagan, we need somebody to possess here. It's been all over the place. That ball has a magnet. It's not connected to the player's sticks.
Absolutely. I like what Charlotte's doing right now. They're spinning the ball around. I think when they've had success so far, it's been through passing, and when the positions haven't gone their way, it's through a one-man dodge and show. So hopefully they can get something going here where they're able to move the defense and find someone inside.
Ackerman takes a shot from the slot. Goes wide. And this time, Charlotte's able to be back on the end line. Setting up a pick here. Back to Ackerman. Shot. Excellent two-man game from Charlotte to make it 4-1.
You said that's textbook two-man. Have the nice pick and slip, draw both guys, and get it to the open man coming around the crease.
That's just beautiful execution, right, from Charlotte. Just to be able to slip that. There's a shorty there anyway, right? Able to hide right behind him. That's a goaltender's nightmare, right?
Yeah, it's a big little situation. You have a defender with a short stick, and his man is setting the pick on the long pole. The long pole's desperate to cover that attack man, that more dangerous player, and so they both end up going to him, and then they find the open man on the backside slip.
Chance for a long pole goal, and this one is not to be. Chance was there for Jonathan Rogers. Could not get it to go, and Charlotte's going to get it right back. So not the start that the 49ers wanted. How about that? Did that one go in? That ball might be in the crease.
I think
Colson Huff. I'm not sure what happened.
I think Jacob DeVita sat on it right at the end and
Oh,
might have got
goodness.
that save.
Incredible save from DeVita because it was definitely caught by Huff, but we'll give it to him. Jacob DeVita keeping this from getting way out of hand. So after a quarter of play, Charlotte 4, Appalachian State 1. We'll come back here for the second quarter of play right here in Lynchburg at the ALC tournament presented by Jemerson Lewis Construction. We are back rocking with you here at the ALC tournament for the second of our Division II semifinal matchups. Winner goes to Sunday, tomorrow's championship game to take on Wake Forest. Charlotte out to a 4-1 lead after a quarter. Reagan, a lot of sloppy play from both teams, but Charlotte was the one that was able to really stay the most composed. And you could see talent has kind of overtaken in this game today, especially from guys like Colson Huff and Tanner Ackerman.
Absolutely. Being down on the field with those guys, a lot of them are a lot of big athletic players. Not surprising that they're able to make something out of nothing, even if their stick skills aren't up to par. I think a big part of the game is going to come down to face-off. Currently have the advantage 5-2 against App State. Not only do they have number 2 Ryan Prairie, second team all-conference, but they also have the third team all-conference face-off and Cole Donner. Both guys are north of 60%.
Shot saved there. DeVita got a piece of it. They'll reset the shot clock as DeVita has had to make a lot of saves. He's had 5 saves so far today in this first half. And problem is that Appalachian State just hasn't possessed it at all on offense too much. Lefty shot. Again, another save by DeVita. This time, he corrals it on the rebound. And Appalachian State will get possession back. About 14 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Ride's been a tough situation, and it continues to be. There's Huff to McHugh, one-on-one, buries it. Then the Conference Player of the Year won't ever have an easier goal than that.
UNC Charlotte, goal number 9.
It's a critical mistake from App State. That's a tough pass. You don't have anyone back. It's a cross field and put a little bit too much air under it.
Two guys that didn't necessarily start their careers here at Charlotte. McHugh's a transfer from Pfeiffer College and has just turned into just an absolute weapon of a player with his shot that he takes and has an easy one. And with Huff, he's been the do-it-all guy and a championship pedigree player transferring over from the Division II national champions at the NCAA level, and Lenore Ryan. So not too far of a transfer there from Lenore Ryan to Charlotte.
Absolutely, he's been a great addition to this team. Anytime you can get not only a champion, but someone who's a champion at that level, NCAA Division II, it's very competitive. They've have that been there, done that mindset, able to affect the team in a lot of positive ways.
Joe McShay finding his way to the ball. Another chance here. Huff, you can see his confidence in the way he moves. It's almost slippery if you look at him. And he's got that wiggle to him that's tough to handle as a defender. You've handled a lot of guys like that. We'll see a guy that you have played against, and Aiden Smith later today. How do you defend a guy with that much athleticism?
It's tough. You got to try and not buy the fakes. They throw a lot of fakes. A lot of their movements are unpredictable or hard to read. It's really important to stare at their hips, tell where they're going, don't be tricked by their eyes or their feet, and then also keep your own feet under you so you can make sure you stay between your man and the goal.
Chance for Cole Warnick there, goes wide. Charlotte will reset it. 25 on the shot clock for them. Here comes Tyler Nichols, ever dangerous.
Going for that big little pick again.
Dodges, shoots. I think that was deflected in front. Appalachian State will get it back. 5-1 right now. Appalachian State in desperation mode to get a goal, just to instill some confidence in this offense. Good clear for the Mountaineers. Justin Phillips talked about they didn't really feel like they had to change much from that first game, but right now it's definitely going different than was to be expected for them.
Yeah, one of the things he mentioned to us was limiting the mistakes, and I don't think they've been able to accomplish that. They've had a lot of, even on offense and in the clear, they've had a lot of throwing away balls and losing possessions, which, you know, against a team like Charlotte, you need as many possessions as you can to try and score.
Trying to find some answer offensively. Haven't heard much from Cox or from Michael Quick today. Good skip pass shot, and there it is. Excellent job there to Luke Davis, the midfielder from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Finally getting App State back on the board.
Number 40, assisted by number 43.
Great look and finding that seam on the defense. It's a cross-field pass all the way to someone who is wide open. Great opportunity to just get a step-down shot. Hopefully they can spark something for him.
And there is Michael Quick. Gets that point on an assist. Good eyes there from Quick to be able to see that. Makes it a 5-2 ball game. Like we saw at the end of that Wake Forest and Coastal Carolina game, your best players can keep you in the game if you can win those face-offs. Coastal Carolina went a little mini run at the end, just ran out of time. Appalachian State certainly not out of it. Just a 3-goal game here.
I think it's a similar face-off battle to our first game where one team has a really skilled face-off guys who can win the clamp and win the draw, but the other team wants to make it a ground ball battle. So most of the times you see Charlotte win it, they get the draw. App State wins it on a ground ball.
Aiden Terry picks that pass off. Fast break opportunity. Nichols inside, easy money, as standing at the crease is Colson Huff once again.
UNC Charlotte goal number 12, assisted by number 10.
I think there might have been a little miscommunication there. One guy or two guys rotated when others didn't. Caught that backside guy open.
Huff now with 4 points on the day. Just a great catalyst and understanding where to be on the field. He has just really been special for them this year. It's now up to 56 points. 28 goals, 28 assists. You want to talk about a balanced player. Colson Huff is it.
Absolutely. It's a really hard guy to scout against because they can really do anything, fit in any position of the field. When someone's a pure shooter, you know what you're going to get out of them. Same with the pure feeder.
Inside, too many fakes there on the crease for Mikey Giroux. As they quickly came down on him. App State going to try to respond. Draws a double team. App State is trying to work that ball around. Get that defense moving. Inside and in the crease. Easy call for the official there. Seeming nothing to worry about coming from that backside. That looks like Luke Davis over there.
A lot of possessions this game. They've trying to get that inside shot, but haven't been able to turn the corner and increase their angle. It's making it easy on the goalies to hug the pipe and cut off those shots.
Sometimes easy to get impatient when you're down by 4 goals. That's what Coach Phillips talks about. Our composure is key. Limit those mistakes like you were talking about earlier. So far, the best players on Appalachian State team have not been there offensively. Charlotte's done a nice job of closing off Michael Quick and Charlie Cox, and there's a timeout gonna come from Coach Nick Nedvetsky. So, we'll take a short break. The score, Charlotte 6, Appalachian State 2. Come on back to Lynchburg here at the ALC tournament presented by Jamerson Lewis Construction. Back here in Lynchburg, Charlotte has maintained control of this game throughout the competition. A 6-2 lead for them over Appalachian State. About 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And Reagan, we were talking about it. Colson Huff has been outstanding for them. 2 goals, 2 assists today.
Yeah, he's been able to get all over the field, contribute multiple ways. Oh, almost again there. He does a great job of finding those open lanes and making it easy for his teammates to get it to him, but then is also able to create his own shots too and move the defense and find success for his teammates as well.
Talked about it earlier, 58 points for him, and there's a turnover quickly. Charlotte can look to capitalize. Declan McHugh, his second fast break goal of the day today. He's the last person you want it with if you're on a fast break.
Absolutely. Fantastic goal from him. Very smooth hands on the face dodge. He baits the defender and then pulls it back and just high to low release. Really hard for the goalkeeper to track there.
McHugh on the season. Goal number 43 for him. He has 67 points on the year so far, and closing in on points number 70 for him. The senior playing in his last game from Gastonia, North Carolina. First team all-conference the last 2 years has been McHugh, and he's earned it. Had 65 points last year, so he's even eclipsed now what he's been able to do this year. Such a special player for this program. And really, Coach Nick Nedvetsky has told us he actually wants to coach later on when he's all wrapped up and done hanging up the stick. You definitely see when you're coached from a player like that who has such good prowess and played that well, it's so much easier to take information and advice from them, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's a lot of practical things that a coach who was a player can tell you.
Colson Huff can tell you a lot of things. He can tell you, hey, I've got a hat trick today. I've got 5 points. He has been dominant.
Charlotte goal number 12, assisted by number 10.
Right on the doorstep.
Actually, does a great job moving off ball. I think that's one of his greatest strengths. Multiple times where he's just found himself wide open and able to make it easy for his teammates to get it to him.
Huff himself closing in on 60 career points. He needs 3 more points to do it. 60 career MCLA points, of course, as we should say. As we told you earlier, he's a transfer from Lenoir-Rhyne College, the defending Division II national champions. Charlotte wins another face. And it's been all smooth sailing so far for Coach Nick Nedvetsky's crew. No letdown after earlier this year and all the injuries they've had. They look really, really good getting everybody back healthy. Nichols, goal!
UNC Charlotte goal number 10, unassisted.
Let's take a look. That's going to force a timeout from Justin Phillips. Easy as can be.
Absolutely. Once he beats his man, there's no one else on him. He realizes his hands are free, pulls it back to the strong hand, and just aims for that opposite pipe.
Well, that's going to make the game 9-2. And for Nichols, goal number 41 on the season, and going to possibly become the 3rd consecutive season for Charlotte having an 80-point getter on their team, if he can do it. And he's been the guy that kind of stepped up when Declan McHugh was injured and out. And they've had to do that this entire season. But now that you can see them at full strength, how do you better assess this team now that you see them as a full unit?
I think this team is very dangerous, especially offensively. If you look at their numbers, a lot of these guys are really balanced. They aren't just pure goal scorers or aren't just a pure assist guys. Every single guy on this team shares the ball. They can do it all. And I think that's dangerous, not only for the offense, but for opposing teams as a defense scouting that. It's so hard to scout against just because at any time anyone can have a good game. If a team has one good player, very hard to cover, or it's a lot easier to cover and track because that's one guy you have to worry about. But now you have 6 guys you have to worry about when you're playing against Charlotte. So,
and they're also missing one of their other attackmen, Blake Moxham, who had over 80 points last year, is injured now for the season. So they're not even fully at strength. But this strategy of all lefties from Nick Nedvetsky has certainly paid off. When you've got Huff, McHugh, and Nichols as your line, my goodness. I don't know if even you would want to go up against that.
No, absolutely not.
Nichols trying to join Blake Moxham from last year. Nick Ferens, who was the MCLA Player of the Year a couple years ago, had over 100 points in 2022. Nichols trying to join that group to get to 80 points. And in fact, that goal right there, actually, if we can now confirm it, Tyler Nichols is now at 80 points. So congratulations to him. 1 goal, 2 assists today gets him there. They just keep 3D printing these guys down at Charlotte, apparently.
One thing that I think is very apparent with Charlotte is they're the 2-time champions, so they have that history and success. They've had success at nationals. Out of all the teams in the Division II tournament this year, they've played the most ranked opponents. So you can tell not only the adversity off the field with the injuries, but also playing tough opponents. That experience is really useful in the crunch time games and when it really matters here, the ALC tournament.
The only team with experience in Round Rock in the tournament. They've gone the last 2 seasons, obviously, and have actually won in the first round as underdogs. They became the first 15 seed to win a MCLA tournament game 2 years ago in the history of the tournament. And then last year won as a 12 seed before they bowed out in the quarterfinals. Shot soft and wide, and good battle down low, back behind X. That was won by Nathan Buck. Cummings. Shot by Nichols, tags the crossbar.
You can see, even though this team wants to slow it down and they've done a great job 6-on-6, they still have that fast break DNA in them.
Fast break for App State, and that gets him to go. Luke Davis getting on the board. His second of the day.
Appalachian goal number 40.
Could be something to get them started a little bit more, especially as we come down to the end of this first half.
Absolutely. You know, when a game runs away, it's really hard to climb back out of it. So if they get more opportunities like that in unsettled situations, it's a real juice goal and morale booster.
Does Huff have one back in him? Nichols. Easy with the hands free. Huff to Nichols on the fast break right off. And any momentum that was just started by App State has just been stymied. What a day for Huff. 3 goals, 3 assists. Is he Mr. Consistent or what?
Absolutely. And he's, before coming in here, at 26 goals, 26 assists. So keeping consistent not only with his performance on the field, but in his stats as well, being able to split evenly in both categories.
Might see a 30-30 guy by the end of this weekend. 10-3, Charlotte just dominating here in the first half. Possession won by Cummings, who's been great on these fast breaks. Takes it himself, puts it home. Let's hear it for the Poles. And Cole Cummings, the sophomore from Glastonbury, Connecticut, gets on the board.
As much as that looks like an individual effort, you can tell that's partially a team goal there. The attackman on that side cut through the middle and pulled his defender and gave Cole an open lane to be able to get right on the crease and just dump it low.
Third of the year for Cole Cummings. They're starting to look like it's a runaway here in Lynchburg. After such a competitive game, as that's a nice steal there for the Mountaineers. If Cox can get to it, he cannot. Parity picks it up and he loses it. You got to suspect maybe a timeout coming for whoever gets this possession. And
yeah, just
stayed alive. App State had it and dropped it. They have it again. Trying to settle it is Luke Davis, and he steps out of bounds.
The field lines weren't really a problem in our first game of the day, but it's caught both teams multiple times here.
I think maybe a timeout probably warranted by either one of those coaches there.
Yeah, maybe just to settle down. It was very hectic for both teams. Both teams got possession, dropped it. Other team got it, exchanged possession multiple times there.
Either way, it'll end up with Charlotte, as we're under 2.5 minutes left in this second quarter. Dan Zappano, Reagan Pritchett here with you all weekend long. The ALC tournament, always a special time of year, as a special kind of goal gets in. Cameron Poro, the freshman from Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Assisted by number 10.
got to feel good as a freshman getting a goal in the tournament.
For sure, and it's not just great for the freshmen building that confidence, but it's also great for the rest of the team, knowing those underclassmen can get involved and get to the piece of the pie as well.
Another win for Donner. Take his own shot. Finally, DeVita gets a save. Flag is down.
Looks like Donner got pretty hard there after the shot.
Donner was down for a moment. He'll get off under his own power. See exactly what the call is here from our officials. The first man-up opportunity today. Unnecessary roughness coming up here. The officials today, we can call them out now.
Number 45, unnecessary roughness.
Kyle Wolf, Don Johnson, Duncan Sheritz are the stripes today. Inside, shot on the slot, goes wide. And going to App State on that one. Avoiding disaster, and now in the clear is where App State really needs to be careful. They're not. McHugh, good save by DeVita, bails him out.
I think McHugh could have slowed it down there a little bit more. They had a lot more time than I think he thought. They still had numbers and maybe could have pulled it out for a better shot there.
Turnover coming up here. So apparently that was kept in. Now Cummings will see if they settle it down. They do.
I believe they're still man up. The penalty hasn't been released yet, too.
No, it has not. In the box is Cam Wilcox. Now the penalty has been released. We've got under a minute to go here in this second quarter. It's been all Charlotte so far. They're looking to make this a double-digit goal lead. McHugh fakes a shot. Tries to get around his defender. Shot goes, hits the post, but right back out to Nichols. And they can hold for the final shot here. Shot inside is, I think that was off the side of the net.
Yeah, I don't think the goalie ever had to make a save there.
App State with short time, 5 seconds. Can they get a shot even off? The answer is no. And Charlotte ends a dominant first half with a 12-3 lead. And in some ways, we thought App State had revenge on their mind. I think Charlotte sent a statement in that first half that they are much better than they were a few weeks ago.
2024, Jamerson Loomis Construction and Jefferson Building Supply.
Absolutely. I think Charlotte wanted to send a message. A lot of their games after injuries lost pretty big, and they want to show everyone, not just in the ALC, but the country, they've been doing well.
We're going to have Justin Phillips up here in just a second to talk to us for a minute. Excuse me, Nick Nedvetsky is going to be here with us. Sorry about that, Nick. Coach, a dominant performance in that first half. It looked like your strategy of going with all three lefties at the attack has really worked out for you.
Yeah, hey, just being a little bit different and playing Charlotte lacrosse, getting back to it. Finally got a healthy group here. And again, look at all these goals. They're all assisted. That's Charlotte lacrosse. That's the difference between what we have been playing like and today.
We talked to you earlier this week about how your DNA for the past few years has been very run and gun, fast pace, and we see flashes of it, but we also see the 6-on-6 settled offense. How do you think that change is done for you so far?
Yeah, I don't think a team can hang with us when we go 6-on-6, especially when we got this personnel here. So that's our game plan. We'll stick to it. We're not need to change anything at halftime. Keep playing Charlotte lacrosse.
Thanks so much, Coach, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Coach Nick Nedvetsky on the headset, giving us the insight about his team. Not much to change with a 12-3 lead heading into the second half. Back here at Lynchburg City Stadium, the halftime score, Charlotte 12, Appalachian State 3. We're joined right here by the head coach of Appalachian State, Justin Phillips. Coach, tough first half for you, probably not going the way you want it. What's going on in those clears right now? It seems like you've given up a couple of opportunities. How do you clean that up in the second half?
You just got to ease the nerves right now. I think a lot of people are trying to play too fast and play too hard and aggressive, and the best thing you can do is just slow down and not try to overthink it.
Coach, in the first quarter especially, there's a lot of opportunities inside that you tried to hit, but unfortunately weren't to. What can you do to keep creating those opportunities inside and be able to make a pass inside for some goals?
Yep, we're just going to stick to our game plan. There's a lot of lacrosse left to play, and we're not going to go down without a fight.
Thanks so much, Coach, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach Justin Phillips of Appalachian State giving us a insight and keeping the composure. That's really all they can say. We'll come back in just about 30 seconds. Hang on right there. We'll be right back. Back here in Lynchburg for the start of the second half. It was a dominant performance there by Charlotte. 12-3, they have the advantage as they're just 30 minutes away from a return trip to the ALC finals tomorrow. Well, they'll get a different opponent if they're able to hang on here. Wake Forest beat Coastal Carolina earlier today. And Charlotte looking good with a 9-goal lead to try to get to Championship Sunday for the third consecutive year and defend their crown. They win the face to begin. And Reagan, we just got done talking to Justin Phillips. He talks about just kind of staying the course, just trying to create opportunities. What are you seeing there that they can do right now to make those opportunities count?
It's really just a lot about possession and handling the ball well. They've had a lot of drop passes and maybe some passes that aren't right to the stick or right to the target.
That one was on target. Declan McHugh, right on cue. Hat trick for number 9, the Conference Player of the Year, showing why he is. We were talking about adjustments from App State. That time, just a little bit out of position to handle that shot from Declan.
UNC Charlotte goal.
Yeah, that was a great look inside. It's hard for a goalie to cover that, going from facing one side of the field to the other, and McHugh did a great job of catching that and releasing that as fast as possible, so it's very hard to track for the goalie. Not only that, he brought his hands low and then shot it high, which is another form of deception that makes it even harder for the goalie. So
DeVita had 8 saves in that first half, but the onslaught of Charlotte's offense and what they throw at you is so far been pretty demoralizing for Appalachian State, but it's about keeping that composure like we've been talking about. Another win on the face for Charlotte. Remember, the Charlotte team not as dominant as they were in previous years, but Coach Nick Nedvetsky talked about that really being due to injuries. They started off really hot and they lost some games along the way, lost to Kennesaw State, lost to Grand Valley State in their last game by 14 goals. But like we talked about, those injuries have piled up and they're at full strength now.
yeah, the way this team's playing right now, it doesn't seem like a team that could lose a game by 10 goals. They've been solid all around, especially the offense. I think the defense on the ride has been a big contributor too. They've put a lot of pressure on these App State players, made it really tough for them to complete any passes.
Every team in this tournament, Charlotte has beat, but by just 1 goal. The 15-14 overtime win over App State, and then against Coastal, they won 11-10. They beat Wake Forest 7-6 in a defensive struggle, which is pretty on point after we saw how good Wake Forest defense is, as that shot by Cox is wide. So it has been a kind of up and down season, but they've maintained to get a 12-3 record. Lost to Missouri State as well. I mean, that's one of the best teams in the country, and a team that's faced no shortage of tough opponents as well. So the teams that they have lost to have been really tough opponents. Inside, shot goes. Way to get back on his feet. Very nice job. That was Mikey Giroux doing a little skating there for the goal.
The dodge is so effective, he broke not only the defender's ankles, but his own as well. Managed to get back up quick enough, and Charlotte just wasn't able to respond and went one-on-one with the keeper.
Looking like Claude Giroux out there. Those hockey references for you. We'll have to ask Mikey if he's got a long-lost uncle. And there's a win on the face. And a push, but nice job there. Keeping his composure. And hanging on to that ball. Inside, opportunity for a long pole. And Cody Seaman stuffs it. And now a timeout for the referee as an injured 49er was back there. Believe that's number 19, Henry Hole. And the one thing about Charlotte is they don't want to see any more injuries this season. They've had enough of that. Hole able to walk up under his own power, although gingerly. Either way, the 49ers will have it back. App State looking for an offsides call. They're not going to get it. Charlotte will calmly settle it in. It's 13-4 to favor the 49ers. We've got about 11 minutes left in this third quarter to decide who's going to be joining Wake Forest tomorrow in the ALC finals. Nichols' shot goes wide. Talked about for Charlotte, I mean, they've lost to the number 3 team in the country. They lost to the number 9 team in the country in Kennesaw State. And the number 19 team in the country in Missouri State. So all ranked losses for Charlotte. And you got to think the committee will take that into account when seeding comes out here.
Yeah, a bad loss hurts you. Something that's a team that's not ranked and losing to them really doesn't look good for the committee, especially when they're trying to decide those seeds or if there's a at-large bid and there's a tiebreaker. They'll look at that, and even if teams have the same amount of losses, if one of them is a worse loss than another, that might be the difference maker between being a 4 seed or 5 seed or even making the tournament.
Wake and Coastal Carolina also give them 2 top 15 wins, so got to think, especially after today, if they're able to finish this off, that it would most likely be enough, and of course it would be enough if they win tomorrow. Look at this run. Score! How about Charlie Cox? We've been waiting for him, and he's arrived. The local boy from Boone getting a goal all by himself.
Sometimes when you're down 9, you think to yourself, I'm just going to run through a whole team, and that's what he did.
No question about that. Cox, call him a quiet leader, smart player, kind of an unorthodox play style. Justin Phillips talked about earlier is sometimes he just says he makes stuff up and it works out. And he's not really sure how it works, but it works out. So as a big hit will cause that flag to fly. And another big one. Oh, man, that was just crushing. Michael Quick laid a big hit there on Cole Donner. And again, these injuries continue to pile up for Charlotte. This is just not good, as we got one flag, but that one was probably warranted as well. And we're going to take a break here and wait for, actually we'll stay right here. making sure Cole can walk up under his own power, and he can. So last thing you want heading into Championship Sunday is to get through this game that's in control and have a bunch of injuries happen there, as we'll see exactly what the call is from the official. It looks like a 3-minute locked in. Just trying to decipher exactly what is what on these penalties. Obviously, the Michael Quick is going to be there.
Penalty on 43 with the cross check for 2 minutes.
It's been announced it'll be a 2-minute penalty
33 for 1 minute.
for Michael Quick, and then another penalty coming up on Corey Mulcahy. Excuse me, that's Dylan Reed, who will be in there for 1 minute. So 2-man down for Appalachian State.
I believe that first 2-minute penalty, I think the referee said that was locked in.
If it isn't, I'd be surprised.
So
Say that. And we're getting confirmation that it was locked in. So an even tougher situation for Appalachian State. Already being down by 8, but DeVita able to get that save. And can imagine that a double might come. There's a timeout called by, nope, it's going to be offsides here. Charlotte will get it back, up 2 men, 9 minutes to go.
I think that last shot was a little too early in their possession. It was within the first 10 seconds. It was a fairly low angle. I think they can move around for a better one.
Nichols behind the back. Just a little wide. Nichols wants it again in the middle. This time across McHugh, and instead of going low to high, he goes low to low right between DeVita. Not what you'd expect, but of course, he's got a lot of tricks in the bag.
That was pretty similar to the last goal where there's a feed across the field. DeVita has to get all the way across his crease and try and sit his feet before the shot comes, but McHugh just releases it right away. It's very hard to track there for the goalie.
Q adds another decorative to his stat sheet. And as if it wasn't bad enough, Appalachian State will still be down a man. A legal procedure against Murphy gives the 49ers a chance to make it 10 as a margin. And you know, with that attack group, that's exactly what they'll be looking to do, attack, with App State down 1 man. I thought it was interesting at halftime when we talked to Coach Nedvetsky. He said exactly what you were talking about, is all of these goals have been assisted. It's been really something to see. Talk about that's Charlotte lacrosse for you.
Yeah, that's absolutely, every single offensive coordinator dreams of games like this where you can get a whole team involved and share the rock, and because it boosts the confidence of the team. It makes everyone get involved. It's great for chemistry, and also assisted goals tend to be prettier too.
McHugh was looking for Riley Martin across there and couldn't find him. So Appalachian State, they're going to survive this penalty, only giving up 1 goal, as the penalty has now been released. Trying to figure out a way to clear it, and another injury on the field here, it looks like, for Appalachian State. Down on the other end. We'll take a short break and we'll come right back here at the ALC tournament. Back here in Lynchburg, has cleared the field of any injured players here. Again, never something we want to see, anybody getting injured, but it does happen, of course, as that shot goes wide. That looked like Cox again. Actually, it was Mikey Giroux again. And, oh, that's unfortunate. Kind of tripping on the feet there from Cox, and he laid down in the crease. There's a clear. Cummings just kind of shuffling it around there. Picked up, though. Nice job by Robbie Crocker. Get that one back.
He was trying to goose it into open space and ended up accidentally sending it towards the App State player.
But a turnover nonetheless. McHugh. Nichols. Oh, good stick check there. But Nichols handles it, and he's out of bounds. Nice creative play there by the defender. That was Jack Ray, senior LSM out of Hillsborough, North Carolina. Ton of North Carolina guys on this team, as you can imagine. Shot save by Seaman. First time we've called his name in a while. This is fourth of the afternoon.
I think if App State wants to get back in this game, they need to be able to move the ball more. It seems like every time they get open, they're just going straight to cage instead of looking for a teammate.
That shot wide from McHugh. And you're right, it's kind of the opposite of what we talked about with Charlotte, is share the medicine a little bit for Appalachian State. It's been a lot of downhill dodging from that App State offense. Make sure to tune in for the Division I semifinals coming up after this game is done, and it is a rivalry renewed. Liberty, Virginia Tech. What more do we have to say? Two top 6 teams in the Division I MCLA go at it for a shot at Championship Sunday. And they will face the winner of our second Division I semifinal coming up later on, around 5:30 Eastern Time, Tennessee and West Virginia. Can the Mountaineers pull off another upset? And can Tennessee make it back to the national tournament? The first time since 2001. Great storyline in this year's ALC Division I tournament. Nichols composed, stays with it. Might have taken a little shot to the knee there. He's trying to rub out that calf. As back in the corner, there's a fight for the ground ball. Push. Hold, rather, and it's going to be on on Charlotte. Head back to the Mountaineers. 4 minutes. 4 minutes left in this quarter. Appalachian State trying to get some momentum going. Here's a fast break. Inside, great ball movement, but lost it out of his stick. Ball is shuffled back towards the crease. Mason Wentz was the one that couldn't handle it. And Seaman with a nice little pass up to his teammate, Will Marriott. Marriott wants to take a shot, does the smart thing and decides not to.
Really unfortunate for App State there on that possession. It was just inches from perfection from the clear from midline and then over one more, drawing down to the pole and then one more to the attack. And just that close to having a perfect play, which can add some confidence and hopefully bring them back.
One of those plays where your eyes get big on the second or third pass. And unfortunate that it could not be finished for Appalachian State. McHugh's taking a lot of shots here. Getting some work in him. Most of them have gone wide. But he's had a good day. 4 goals for Declan McHugh. And parity from up top. Oh, that looked on the line. Just missed.
I don't think Jacob DeFita saw that shot at all. He went low, and it was almost in the top corner. Might have been a screen there.
Got a great angle of that shot from where we're standing. The tracking of that ball. Warnick. That one bounces and hits the post. And that'll reset. Exactly what Appalachian State can't afford is a reset. As time continues to tick. Nichols moves it off. Quality of the passing and catching is on display here for Charlotte. The motion offense that they've put in here. McHugh, free hand, good save by DeVita on the bounce.
Great move from McHugh to take a little step there, freeze the defense, and then continue into the middle of the field to increase his angle.
Parity takes a shot. That's deflected in front. And again, another ground ball for Charlotte. Shot again deflected. Goose to the corner. Nichols will pick it up. And man, this is a long possession for Charlotte. Back-to-back 80-second shot clocks.
You can hear the Charlotte bench telling them to slow it down every time they get a reset. I think they really want to use as much clock as they can, get as solid a possession as they can, settle for the best look.
Inside shot. Finally, DeVita says, I'm taking it myself. A nifty little move to get it to his teammate. Unfortunately, given right back to parity. Tough situation for Appalachian State. Now, Charlotte will have the final minute to think about it if they want to hold for the final shot. Going on almost 4 consecutive minutes of defense for the Mountaineers.
Looks like they're doubling the ball here.
That they are. Ackerman across. Nichols is coming off the field. He'll get a sub. Looks like he's coming up a little lame with that calf. They'll get that second midline.
I don't think we've seen much of Colson Huff in this second half either. I think now that Charlotte's built a pretty comfortable lead, they might be considering resting some of their core guys.
Especially with already suffering a couple of injuries today. Probably prudent. 5 seconds. Turnover. And that's the way the quarter will end. Charlotte, 15 minutes away from their 3rd straight trip to Championship Sunday, trying to defend their crown. They've defended it so far. Score Charlotte 14, Appalachian State 5. Come on back here. We'll be right back for the 4th quarter of the ALC Championship game right here, presented by Jamerson Lewis Construction. Back here at the ALC tournament, second of our Division II semifinals between Charlotte and Appalachian State. Charlotte has dominated today off the back of their 3 attackmen, Tyler Nichols, Declan McHugh, and Colson Huff, who have been absolutely outstanding for the 49ers today, and they're looking for their 3rd consecutive Championship Sunday berth. Looking to defend their title. They've won it this tournament 2 years in a row. And Coach Nick Nedvetsky going for win number 36 as a head coach. He's 35-11 as a head coach since he began as head coach in 2020 for the Charlotte 49ers, and they had never made it to the MCLA tournament. They've been there the last 2 years. They've won this tournament the last 2 years as well. And built that on a culture and really getting not just players, but the players' families involved as well and into that unit. That's key to creating any good, successful program, isn't it, Reagan?
Absolutely. Having the families involved and having those tailgates after games and having those away fans come to trips is really, it's a blessing for a lot of these teams and being able to be involved in that.
Vetsky comes from the Buffalo area, good box lacrosse player when he was playing early in his career, coached by current Clemson head coach Andrew Tobias, really learned under his leadership. Also, there's other big-time mentors for him as well, as App State going to get it back and a flag coming. Up here, it's going to be on Charlotte. No, we talked about him and all the guys that he's had profound impact on. The comeback for this team is testament to how he's built the program. As now we're going to see a penalty come up. Be a hold against the 49ers. That is Cameron Porro, who scored a goal today.
UNC Charlotte, number 30.
I believe that's their first penalty of the game.
Yes. It's always good to be able to get some of the younger guys in, of course, in these situations, get them some championship experience. They've had that in the past before, but there was a lot of question as to whether Charlotte was for real this year. All the injuries they hadn't been playing to their best. That's a shot deflected in front. They have certainly answered that call coming into this tournament after losing by 14 in their last game to Grand Valley State. They're certainly back to their winning ways today. Cox trying to do it himself. Good save by Seaman right at the crease. That's his 5th of the day. Senior from Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. So a key contributor for this group. First team All ALC last season. 18 saves in the championship game a year ago against Coastal Carolina. He's been battling injuries as well. Wasn't sure if he was going to play today, and the big fella decided, you know what, I think I'm going to do it. So that's 6 foot, 250 pounds. And he fills out that goal nicely, as he stops a lot of balls. Trying to see some of the second and third midlines here for Charlotte.
It's nice to see on Charlotte here with a lot of guys who don't normally get to play. They still play their brand of offense and their brand of lacrosse. A lot of ball movement.
Holding true as Warnick takes a way outside shot, clamped down by DeVita. And it's unfortunately for App State, it looks like it was almost a turnover for them.
I think that might have been a goalie interference from the attackman there.
Right you are. So App State will get possession back, trying to work their way back in with 10 minutes to go. trying to step into any momentum. And they've had a, resurgence this year. It's not easy to do what they've done with a student coach and keeping all the players in line and focused and ready. As Seaman another save and a shot that goes off the post. But Justin Phillips has done that. He's talked about being a leader of men and doing something bigger than yourself. He has certainly shown his prowess as a coach, as that's another big hit. That's going to be sending someone to the box. And a timeout coming from Coach Nedvetsky and Charlotte. So Reagan now up with a 9-goal lead here. You look at Charlotte, and it's starting to look more and more apparent like they're going to be there tomorrow. What did you see? Can Wake Forest defense slow them down? I mean, that's a pretty great matchup we're going to have if that's the case tomorrow.
I don't think Charlotte's going to be putting up the same numbers against Wake Forest that they did against App State today. I think they'll still have success on offense. I think their offense ran a lot better today than Coastal Carolina's did. But Wake Forest does a great job of putting pressure on those offensive players. So even though Charlotte's known for their ball movement, they showed great ball movement today, it's not going to be as easy to do that against a Wake Forest defense that's as solid as the one we saw earlier.
And not just defense, but how many times did we see Jack Church bail out Wake Forest this morning?
Yeah, I mean, what was it, 16 saves?
16 saves.
And 8 goals allowed. That's anytime you have a goalie above 50%, generally you can be happy with that. 55% is considered a really, really solid goalkeeper. I think at the NCAA Division I level, there isn't a single goalkeeper above 60% right now. So being able to go 66% in a semifinal game, 64% on the season is really great for this Wake Forest defense.
Charlie Cox is going to sit for a full minute because that hit is going to leave him locked in. So a chance for the second line of Charlotte to put one home. There's a wind starting to pick up a little bit out here in Lynchburg. Had some papers flying all over the place earlier. Turnover coming up here. App State survives it. That was a nice little snag. Looked like Mikey Giroux out there.
This App State offense has shown flashes of some really good lacrosse and ball movement. Just a lot of mistakes and not being able to put it together. I think take the rest of this game and use it as a learning experience to try and, not just bow out and give up, but keep fighting and, hopefully take it to next year and carry on that success.
We have a goalie change, Isaac Montague in the net right now for Cody Seaman, Raleigh, North Carolina product, sophomore. They like him. He stepped in. Actually, Nick Nedvetsky talked very highly of him. He actually worked with the women's lacrosse team to get better. He's putting in the time there just to get extra reps. So they're excited about his work ethic. Shot goes high.
I believe Coach Nick said that he was a second-year player. He came here as a freshman last year, never having even played lacrosse before. So being able to do that and improve and play as he has this season, especially with the injuries with the starting goalie, really impressive.
Aiden Terry getting out of there. Takes a big stick right to the hands and forces a bad pass. That'll give App State the ball back. Trying to take it himself is Graham Mozzie, the junior. That one is wide. Under 7.5 to go. Good move there and a good goal. Excellent job there. And there is Michael Quick, who gets himself on the score sheet for the first time today.
Not exactly a question mark shot, but it's still similar concept. Bring the defender inside, rolling back to create that separation, and just quick finish.
You know, we looked throughout the stats going back to 2005, and it appears that Michael Quick is the first Mountaineer with 60 points on the season that they've ever had. So tells you the impact he's had. Young man coming out of Marietta, New York, coming down to Boone to help out. Been a big impact on this App State program. Well, here they go again, and then as we always say, just a reminder, coming up next, the Division I semifinals, the ALC, the Blue Ridge rivalry, Liberty, Virginia Tech. That'll be next here on our broadcast. And then following that game, Tennessee and West Virginia, Rocky Top versus Country Roads. And a huge David versus Goliath kind of story. Chance in front. Lost it. Cummings trying to get it out of there, and he does. Fast break for the sophomore. And Charlotte backs off. Good to see Henry Hull back out there on the field after he was helped off earlier.
I think you can expect Charlotte to maybe shave off another 20 seconds on the shot clock before they really get into it. And they want to try and milk as much time off the clock as they can.
And why not? Protecting that lead. 14-6. Still out here as Hull will get it at the top. Going to take the shorty. They quickly double. He's looking for anybody to pass it off to, and does. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ackerman wide. Just 5 seconds. Parity. Does he have enough time? No. Well, he did, but DeVita said no. You don't have enough time. "14 saves today for Jacob DeVita. He's got a lot more shots than that taken to him. Inside, good save by Montague. His first of the day. And
Looks like there's a flag on the field.
is there a flag back here? It looks, offsides. Okay. Easy to miss those when we're watching the action down here. They were quick to see it. Our referees have done a very good job today.
Number 44.
Bradley Bass was
Offsides.
offsides, and now they'll put Seaman back in the game. Keep protecting that lead, no matter how big it is, and no matter how much time is left. How excited are you for this Virginia Tech Liberty game?
It's tough to not be excited. I mean, it's a game I've played in 6 times, I think. It's really just a special matchup. It's a battle every year. Even before I got here, it was a constant battle. So it's hard not to get your blood pumping for a matchup like that.
Of course, with such high magnitude. Nice jump and catch there. We have a crease violation or no? Doesn't look like it. That's a goal. So the man up works.
Appalachian goal number 10.
Looks like that was Mason Wentz. Good job of doing that in the air, right?
He was definitely close to getting in the crease there, but he did a fantastic job of not only catching it, but then shooting it right away, making sure that ball went in the back of the net before he stepped in the crease.
Wentz and Davis are the only two with multiple goals today for the Mountaineers. They'll definitely go into the season, into the off season with something to build off of, as that's going to be good forced turnover there for the 49ers. Very excited to see that coming up. It's good matchup between Virginia Tech and Liberty. They know each other so well. The coaches, both one the current president of the league, the other the former president of the league. Good friends, but on days like today, that all goes out the window. As turnover there. Charlotte will give it right back.
I think we can look forward to what this App State team has to offer in the future. It's pretty rough in the first half, but the second half they've shown some flashes of some really great lacrosse, and it's a team with only 5 seniors, so
right.
They'll have a lot of underclassmen fill in those spots and hopefully continue the success that they've found for their program this year.
Similar to Wake Forest, we talked about in the first game, Appalachian State, the future is bright. The leadership at the top is so key in club lacrosse, right? You need to, a lot of the times you see a lot of the players can run a lot of the programs and stuff like that, but you get a revolving door of coaches at a lot of programs, but they seem like they have great leadership that could coach them for years to come, as long as they stay at the helm. The future is bright for Appalachian State lacrosse. .136 left on the clock. Charlotte going to try for one more. That's a pass, and that's going to make it App State ball. So as we look into tomorrow, we talked about this is going to be the matchup of attackmen versus depots tomorrow with Wake Forest and Charlotte. Wake Forest in their first championship appearance. Charlotte defending their crown, 3rd consecutive year, and there's another flag and another injury. At least for a moment, Bradley Bass was down there and gets back up. Appears to be okay. But that's going to be an exciting game tomorrow, there's no question. And 2 really, really smart coaches also going to be kind of playing the in-game adjustment game, the game within the game.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the schemes and changes that they're going to have. I think Wake Forest won that game against Coastal. It was the 13 nationally ranked beating the 7th ranked because of their schemes and the game plan they had coming into it. Excited for the game tomorrow as well. It's a potential champion against a defending champion, and I think both these teams that make the nationals could have a significant run as well.
Charlotte will defend their crown tomorrow for a shot at a three-peat in the Atlantic Lacrosse Conference Championship game. It's a 49er frenzy as Charlotte moves on to take on Wake Forest in the championship game tomorrow here in Lynchburg.